Well, welcome to Our Changing State Vote 2024. I'm Matthew Peddie, the host of Florida Matters and host of this podcast. And we're here at the Poynter Institute. I'm talking with Alex Mahadevan. He's the Director of MediaWise at Poynter. Alex, thanks for joining us. So nice to see you.
Really happy to be here.
So I want to start by talking about deepfakes and AI. And let me just read a headline to you from the Washington Post from back in April. They claim AI deepfakes threaten to upend global elections. No one can stop them. I want to ask you about that premise in a little bit, but first, what is a deepfake?
A deepfake is a synthetic video, a fake video that's been created with artificial intelligence. Originally, back in the day, it was when someone would use lots and lots of photos and video of someone like Barack Obama to paste his face on someone like Jordan Peele's face and make it look like Obama was saying something he never did.
Some examples that the Washington Post mentioned in their piece, they talked about a digitally altered deepfake of Eminem endorsing a candidate in South Africa and a robocall deepfake that appeared to be President Biden telling voters not to go to the polls in New Hampshire. That was in a primary. So what examples have caught your attention recently?
Definitely the Biden example. And the reason that one caught my attention was, one, it was an audio deepfake. And those are most concerning to me because they are very, very easy to make. Much easier than videos, even though videos have gotten a lot easier. Audio deepfakes are what we've seen in global elections pop up all over the place. So it was hearing that example was really kind of hit me like, hey, we're seeing this in the U.S. now. And also the story behind it was fascinating. It was a political operative paid a magician who lived in Texas to create this audio deepfake that went live in New Hampshire.
Do deepfakes work? I mean, is there some evidence that they can actually change the course of an election?
Well, when it comes to evidence, that one's difficult because these, like I said, with the Biden example, this is really one of the first mainstream examples of political deepfakery we've seen in U.S. elections. So researchers don't have a lot of really good data, I think, on whether these sway elections, whether they sway how people feel about candidates. I did think I saw some research recently that showed that there wasn't too much of a needle movement when someone was faced with a deepfake. So I don't, in terms of swinging elections right now, I don't think we have enough evidence to say that they do. And frankly, I think deepfakes get debunked so quickly because they are so flashy and it's what every news outlet wants to cover right now, that what is actually going to be swaying voters are cheap fakes. So, you know, really cheaply edited videos, out of context images, potentially AI images, but really deepfakes are still, I think, a little too new on the scene to cause an election to go one way or another.
Thinking too about that notion of cheap fakes, things that are easy to create. I mean, the pace of AI is developing so rapidly and advancing so quickly, and I think, like a lot of technology, it's becoming more democratic in some ways, right? Easier to access for a lot of people. So is that what you mean, the fact that it's now easier for somebody to create a deepfake, or even something that doesn't take a lot of effort, may not look that good, but can still kind of move the needle a little bit in terms of AI and deepfakes and other kind of online chicanery?
I'm trying to think of the last year. So the last year and a half or so since ChatGPT came on the scene, they really put the power of AI into people's hands, anyone's hands. And so it's getting easier to make synthetic video deepfakes, but it's still a lot easier to take a video of Joe Biden giving a thumbs up to a parachuter on the ground and cut the video so it looks like he's giving thumbs up to nobody. It's really easy to end a video that makes it look like Joe Biden is about to sit in a chair that isn't there when the context is totally different. So the bar is still much lower to create cheap fakes, really easily edited videos. And that's why I think you don't see as big of examples as deepfakes, is because all these online trolls, they're just going to take a clip of Joe Biden and cut 2 seconds of it and put it on Twitter, and then it's going to go viral, and it gets reported in the Daily Caller and on Fox News.
So let me ask about that headline from the Washington Post. Can deep fakes be stopped, and do you think that we do have the power to stop them upending elections, whether here or elsewhere in the world?
I am. I'm generally not a doomsayer when it comes to the use of AI, but when it comes to like deep fakes and disinformation, I am a bit of a doomsayer. I don't think there will ever be any mechanism to stop the creation and spread of disinformation. Think about the different tools that are used to create AI. So ChatGPT has put in guardrails. So I can't, put in, give me a picture of Joe Biden spilling ice cream on a shirt. I can't do that. It won't let me. But there are plenty of people who figured out how to add a lot of different words and and change around the prompt. So it does do that. And there are open source tools that will always, skirt those guardrails.
Right, because ChatGPT is just one of a whole host of those AI tools, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can still go to like Stable Diffusion and create images of any president or ex-president. So I think we're in the Wild West, and the FCC is trying to regulate deepfakes and political ads. There was a fine issued in that New Hampshire Joe Biden deepfake case, but I think that the mechanism for enforcement is really tough. You really have to get someone to admit that they used a deepfake, and that's hard.
Thinking long term, Alex, what is the outlook for AI's influence on elections?
I wish there was an easy answer for what AI will do to elections, but the technology changes almost hourly at this point. So it's a fool's errand to try to predict what it will do. But what I will say is it's not going to be good. I think what worries me the most is that it has given any regular person the power to be a extremely high-functioning political operative, in that they can create lots and lots of political graphics. They can create tons of political copy. They can generate 5,000 Facebook comments in a matter of seconds if they set up the right system using AI. So while AI may not necessarily, swing an election with like a last-minute deepfake of Trump, what you might see is just a flooding the zone of AI-generated images and text aimed at trying to influence people, made by regular people targeting regular people.
And I feel like that's something we've read headlines about in, not just the 2016 and the 2020 election here in the United States, but elsewhere in the world too.
Yeah, it's it is what you're seeing is the kind of warping of reality through the injection of AI into everything we do. If you Google Big Sur, there's a beach in Big Sur, and if you Google that, some of the top images or the top images and videos are AI generated, created with OpenAI's Sora. So you're seeing Google being infected with this AI information. So you just it's getting. What really worries me the most is it's just getting harder and harder to trust what you see online, because there's so much synthetic content. It doesn't matter how good it is. And it's not, like I said, it's not going to be this ground-shaking deep fake of Joe Biden or Donald Trump. What it is kind of this slow march toward non-reality that's filled with synthetic AI slime.
Alex, thanks so much for your insights. Appreciate it.
I hope I didn't scare you too much.
A Changing State is a production of WUSF. Our executive producer is Gracyn Doctor. Scott Wachtler produces the podcast. Videos by Warren Buchholz and Chandler Balkcom, who also does our graphics. Engineering support from Blake Bass. Jackson Harpe composed our theme music. I'm Matthew Peddie. Thanks for listening.